As the PS2 entered its first full year in 2001, it would shed its identity as a DVD player which happened to play games, and really kick into overdrive as one of the greatest consoles of all time. Classic titles such as Grand Theft Auto 3, Jak and Daxter, Devil May Cry, and Gran Turismo 3 would all debut in the same year, along with Capcom's newest franchise, Onimusha. Starting life as a PS1 title before being moved to Sony's more powerful system, and notable for being the first PS2 game to reach 1 million sales, Warlords takes many concepts of Capcom survival horror and applies them to an action-focused samurai epic. And in many regards, it is a huge success. You are Samanosuke Akechi, a samurai warrior who witnesses the death of Nobunaga Oda during the Battle of Okihamazama. After a year has passed, his cousin, Princess Yuki, informs him that servants are disappearing and worries monsters are the cause. Unfortunately proving to be true, she is kidnapped, and it is up to Samanosuke, along with Ninja Cade, to save the princess from peril and a sacrificial ceremony. It's a bit cliched, and there are some issues with goofy localization and dodgy lip syncing, but it's serviceable enough. Onimusha initially seems to follow in the footsteps of games like Resident Evil and Dino Crisis, just with monstrous demons. Using a fixed camera perspective, Samanosuke can be navigated around the environment using tank controls. Environments are all crafted using pre-rendered backgrounds, and a slew of puzzles mixed with demon encounters block your progress. You can expect the game to take between 7 to 10 hours on initial runs, and even less on repeated plays. But this is not unusual for Capcom's survival horror brand of games, though the lack of a second character, for example, does diminish repeated plays. But it has a lot of quality traits, such as the finely designed Inabayama Castle, which contains many hidden upgrades, little nooks and crannies. But upon closer inspection, Onimusha offers a completely different beast of a game. There's a much bigger focus on action. Samanosuke initially comes equipped with just a basic sword, but eventually gains access to 3 elemental powers. Along with strikes, you can perform both blocks and dodges, giving you far more defensive tactics despite the slower control scheme. There's a lot of tactics to use too. You can perform a kick to spread enemies apart, stab downed enemies to finish them quickly, and time attacks to counter foes. You can also find extra weapons, including a bow and a gun. The action feels fast-paced, and despite maybe not showing as much depth as a character action game like Devil May Cry, flows really well. Outside of combat, light puzzling comes calling. Early on, you are gifted a gauntlet which allows you to absorb enemy souls. This allows you to harness 3 different elements of magic: thunder, fire, and wind. This not only lets you use the 3 different magic attacks, along with their variant of sword, but also unlock more of Inabayama Castle. Certain doors will be locked with seals that, depending on their colour, can be unlocked with a certain magic. Souls from enemies can be used to upgrade both the element's power and the unlocking ability, as more locks are placed to prevent progression. There are also more traditional puzzles, though nowhere near as labyrinthian as Resident Evil. You'll have to find the occasional object, figure out a light block puzzle, and even perform a dual puzzle with Cade. It breaks up the action nicely, but the fast pace isn't disrupted either due to the simplified nature of them. As a game, early in the PS2's lifespan, Onimusha is a visual delight. Though using the same engine which powered the Resident Evil games, the jump in quality between console generations is astonishing. The pre-rendered backgrounds, despite splitting critics at the time, are intricately detailed and gorgeously rendered. Whether it's the traditional halls of the castle, the grotesque underground caverns, and more oriental side buildings, they are all stunning. The 3D objects, such as characters and monsters, have all benefited from a boost in clarity and detail. A subtle use of motion blur during cutscenes looks rather good, and the game runs at a crisp frame rate throughout. The sound is great in most respects too. The soundtrack is excellent, with lots of memorable tracks and orchestrations, and the slicing and dicing of combat is top notch. The only weak point is the voice work, which isn't good enough to be respectable, but not bad enough to be memorable.
How could I die? By the hand of a human!
Be quiet, monster. It is time for you to go back to the underworld.
Despite a fairly brief length, there are some notable extras. Finding all of the game's fluorite collectibles will unlock a challenging minigame, unlockable costumes can be earned through special actions, and playthroughs will be graded depending on completion time, kills, and collecting items. That being said, it's not quite as replayable as the likes of Resident Evil, due to lacking aspects such as alternate endings and multiple characters. Onimusha Warlords is a great debut and marks one of the PS2's earliest successes. The mix of survival horror mechanics with faster sword combat is refreshing and exciting, the presentation is top notch, and the intricately designed map is well worth exploring. The game is not perfect, as the brisk pace of gameplay does mean that the game is brief, and the lack of many supplemental extras, which could keep you coming back, hurts the game too. But for PS2 owners, Onimusha is otherwise a worthwhile hack and slasher.
Fortune has smiled upon me this day. With the power of this gauntlet, I will destroy all of those monsters and save the princess!